please follow me on YouTube and Substack because I am absolutely getting stomped on here. I mentioned this in an earlier, longer video, but the Supreme Court decision to remove tariffs, it's not what we think it is, right? Or what most people think it is. It is an attempt to win back the House and keep the Senate in the midterms. Despite all the performative antics and, gnashing of teeth by Trump and people about the tariffs, I honestly think it was designed where they raked in their $287 billion in tariffs. A tax on us, not them. And then they were going to always turn it off before the midterms. It takes months for the prices to start to shift towards consumers and become a little less. And they needed to do it before primaries and the midterms for sure. Because without those tariffs, prices will go down. Some companies may hold on to more of their profits than others, but what you'll see pro-Trump, pro-GOP, tax cut policies for the rich. You'll see them lower their prices a little bit, and then what they'll do is they'll say, "Hey guys, look, the economic policies of Donald J. Trump are really helping you, and they're improving your economic life." And then they'll hope they can hold on to as many, MAGA diehards as possible, or just, fool enough people into thinking that whatever Trump is doing is actually working. It's not. They're just removing the tax on us. And one of the things we saw right after the Supreme Court decision was companies like Amazon see gigantic bumps in their stock because they're expected to see a lot of profits without having to pay more for goods coming overseas. They can keep those profits for a while until they work through the inventory, and the stock market reflected that. One thing that would be really interesting to do is, and I know there's a guy on here, Nico, who looks into these things, and I'm going to tag him, but it would be interesting to see which politicians bought stock in companies like Amazon, Etsy, and Wayfair right before the Supreme Court decision, right? Because they just saw a massive bump. Some people probably became millionaires, or even more so, if you will. So that'll be interesting. So I think the point of all this, of what I'm trying to, hammer home, is that I think it was a plan from the beginning. They were going to tax the hell out of us. Then they were going to drop that tax on us and then try to sell us that the economic policies were doing a great job. And you should vote for Republicans again because our life is better now. Again, we never would have been paying an extra $1,000 per household, which was climbing out of our pocket without these taxes. They fucked us. And now they're going to, ask us to say thank you for doing that. Please don't. And again, I think a lot of people got rich off of big companies like that because they knew what was happening. And this was a plan. I hate to put on tinfoil hat shit, but I think this has been, you could see this coming for miles with the tariff stuff. It was absolutely a way to pad their pockets. And that money's gone. That $287 billion, they've used that for whatever, extra ballroom, ICE, all of these other, pet projects of theirs, to help minimize the tax cut for the rich effect on everything else. But that money's gone. And, the importers will probably fight to get their refunds back. That'll go to the importers. It won't go back to us. Do not expect an $820,000 check, in your pocket anytime soon. So we got screwed, and they're going to want us to thank them for it. And some people got rich off of it. So once again, the Republican Party doing absolutely jack shit for you and me.